Hey guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about a few things that I did not know would happen once I graduated college because nobody really told me. But if you want to learn some things that might happen when you graduate college, even if that's in a couple years or a couple months, just keep watching and yeah.
Wait right here. I'll be back in the morning. I know that I'm
So the first thing nobody told me would happen when I graduated college was that I would become even closer to my family. So I don't live in the same area as them anymore, but ironically, the more time I've spent away from them, like geographically and physically, I don't know if those are the same thing, but you know what I mean. The more time I've spent away from them, the more that I feel that I need them, which sounds like bad. Like I always knew I needed them before, but now it's even more exciting to call them and like tell them good news. I spend probably like at least an hour to 2 hours a day talking to at least a family member on the phone, usually one of my sisters. But I don't know, it's just weird. Like, it's so fun to call them and tell them the good and the bad things that are happening in your life because I feel like you'll really never have people in your life that are so like closely connected to you besides your family. And I know that like I am thankful to be connected to my biological family, but whatever you consider your family, like the longer you're away from them, the more you realize you need them. So like you will call your family more, I promise. And if you don't, you should. The second thing is that you will need to get a hobby. You will need to get a lot of hobbies because when you get out of work at the end of the day or whatever you're working on, you will come home and you will honestly have so much free time. Like the weekends, you can do whatever you want. Like you could literally do whatever you want. So I don't know, it's just crazy. Like you have so much more free time and you don't have someone telling you what you need to learn. You're kind of free to learn whatever you want, and I think that's really awesome about college because I mean after college was great too, but after college you're like your own person. And I know a lot of people say that before you go to college or even before you go to high school you have a chance to reinvent yourself, and after college is another one of those transitional periods where you have the opportunity to reinvent yourself yet again because you might go into a workplace or a new city where you don't know anybody, and that can be a really good thing or it could be a really bad thing, but I always try to look on the positive side. So you can take that opportunity to take on new hobbies that you always wanted to and never had the time for because you will have more time. Another thing, sorry, I'm looking at my notes over here. Oh, another thing is that, okay, I don't know if this is just because I'm like partially an introvert, but you will love staying home. Like, it's really hard sometimes for people to convince me to leave my house for any reason. Like, I know that you probably really enjoy chilling at home now, but once you graduate, like, you don't have to go anywhere if you don't want to. I mean, I'm not saying that's like a good or a bad thing, but for me personally, like, I just love being at home, like, in my space, like, watching YouTube or reading things online. So, like, doing that is like, it's so calming to just be able to go home, and that's the cool thing too. You will never have homework, so you can just go home and you'll probably get addicted to staying in your space because you're kind of like untouchable there. Like nobody knows what you're doing. Nobody can see you. I mean, I have a roommate, but other than that, like nobody can see me and nobody can tell me what to do anymore, and it's just crazy. It's crazy. Like the amount of freedom sometimes is scary. Like I'll be honest, that's another thing no one told me is that the freedom that comes with graduating is liberating, but it's also scary because you can literally do whatever you want. Like look at this. I was on my phone the other day and I was like planning out my week, and then I realized that like all of these days it's not focus. Ah, but like, well, I just got an email. But like all of this time, like literally forever and ever and ever, like you don't, like unless you go to grad school, like you can do whatever you want with all that time. Like all that time is yours. And like that's just crazy to me. Like we have it for as long as I'm concerned, like forever, to figure out like what we want to do with our lives, and every day is like a chance to build another piece of yourself, and that's really cool. But the freedom is scary, but it's also liberating if you let it be. And another thing that I think is crazy is that, like, on your way to finding a job, your job will be to apply to jobs. So, like, you'll spend hours, like, typing out your resume, typing up cover letters for all these different positions, and I would recommend changing your resume and your cover letter to target that company or that, like, role, because that makes it seem like you're the best candidate for that role rather than just sending out, like, a blank, like, a template resume to everybody. So, sorry, I keep touching my nose. It's really itchy. But that's the crazy thing is, like, you're going to have a full-time job applying for jobs. And, like, that could be, like, freelance work or a 9-to-5 job or, you know, whatever path you're taking. Like, looking for those opportunities is a full-time job. So just don't get discouraged. Just know that, like, it's for a good thing that you're doing and it'll pay off. But, yeah, like, applying for jobs is a job, and then people call you all the time for interviews, and then you have to schedule the interviews. But I don't know, it keeps you busy. Like, it's definitely a chore though, but I just try to look at it as, like, I'm doing office work for my life, and it's just a chance to show people how great you are. So don't be discouraged. Even if you don't get a job right away, like, just keep trying, keep applying yourself. And one thing that nobody told me, I mean, people probably told me, but I probably didn't listen, but I just realized that one of the biggest things that matters, like, when you're looking for a job is making sure you have skills. Like, when they ask you, like, what sets you apart from other candidates, like, being able to do, like, HTML or CSS or video editing or photo editing or, I don't know, accounting, like having a skill, like, soft skills rock, don't get me wrong, but, like, having a tangible skill that makes you valuable is really important. So, like I mentioned earlier, finding a hobby, I would definitely recommend finding a skill that you can really hone in on yourself, because that, it will set you apart, and, like, being able to actually execute for people will make you exponentially more valuable to them. You're already super valuable the way that you are, but just as, like, a word of advice, nobody told me how important, like, having skills would be. So I'm trying to, like, build up my skills now, just trying to, like, dabble in a bunch of different things, because with the internet you can literally learn anything. So I would recommend, like, on your downtime, try to find something that you like. Like, don't do a skill that, like, makes you want to give up. I mean, everything's gonna, like, you're gonna give up eventually, but just, like, find something that you're, like, moderately passionate about and get really good at it. Well, guys, I think that's all that I have for right now. I'm sure that, like, as time goes by, I'll think of more things that nobody told me, because I have a lot more living to do outside of college. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want. There is absolutely no pressure. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you really soon.